Yeah, I got 9:02. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Present are Mike Harris, Bertha Corley, Charlene O'Brien, Kelly Harrell, and myself, Jerry Sullivan. Okay? I'd like to proceed with reading of the minutes from the previous meeting.
Just before I do that, last meeting the board voted on and accepted a code of conduct for meetings and agreed to have it read before each meeting. Camp Ranch Acres POA code of conduct for meeting attendees. To ensure productive and respectful property owners association meetings, all members in attendance are expected to adhere to the following code of conduct. Purpose of participation. Members who wish to speak must address the POA board directly and limit their comments to matters related to the CBAPOA business and community interests. Respectful communication. Personal attacks, inflammatory remarks, or disruptive behavior directed at individuals, whether board members, property owners, or others, will not be tolerated. And enforcement. Any member who fails to comply with this code of conduct may be asked to leave the meeting at the discretion of the board. I handed out there's 2 copies, so if you guys can share with that. So
These are my copies of
yeah.
Xbox.
So I should have a copy for if you can share with
Yeah.
Kelly there, and if Charlene and Bertha can share for a copy of the meeting minutes.
Okay, I'll share with Charlene, okay?
Okay.
Kelly's got one.
Oh, okay. All right. And I'll just share with Bertha now. That's cool. So
Before you get started with that, we had asked for minutes from a previous meeting. Did we come up with those?
Yes, we have, and I was going to take care of those after we do this one,
Okay.
okay?
board meeting minutes from August 3rd, 2025. Meeting was 10 a.m. here at Joe's place. Thank you, Joe, for opening your place again for us. We appreciate it. This was recorded by Mike Harris, secretary. Call to order. Meeting was called to order at 10 a.m. Board members present: Jerry Sullivan, chair; Mike Harris, secretary; Charlene O'Brien, treasurer; Kelly Harrell, director at large; and Bertha Corley, director at large. Quorum was established. Approval of previous minutes. The May 3rd, 2025 meeting minutes were not available for approval. Kelly Harrell will resend them to the current board for review and approval at the... Yes, right here. Yeah, come on over. Treasurer's report by Charlene O'Brien. New checking account opened on July 15th, 2025 at Wood Forest National Bank as a nonprofit account. Discuss no fees except for any insufficient funds charged. Deposited dues and cashier's checks totaling $15,522.22. Pending expenses, Chico, $975. Texas Materials invoice was $1,155.03. Net balance after expenses was $14,357.48. Treasurer's report unanimously accepted by board members. A new EIN number was also obtained as a nonprofit unincorporated association. Secretary's report by Mike Harris. Current access restored to CBAPOA@gmail.com and the Google Drive. Proposed creation of a Google group for board communications. Motion to establish a Google group unanimously approved. Recommended board members use separate dedicated email accounts for POA business. Proposed updating the official website with board approved information. Motion to allow updates. Unanimously approved. Filed a management certificate with Trinity County and a doing business as for Camp Ranch Acres Property Owners Association, total of $58. We'll work on organizing and digitizing records. Discussion, some Trinity County filing originals and legal documents remain missing, and that's something that we'll continue to work on. Number 5 was old business. Philip Kennedy resigned at the last meeting. The board accepted his resignation, and Bertha Corley was elected to fill the position. She will serve a 2-year term. Board terms were clarified. Mike Harris elected 2025 for a 2-year term. Jerry Sullivan elected 2024, 1 year remaining, eligible for re-election. Charlene O'Brien elected 2024, 1 year remaining, eligible for re-election. Kelly Harrell elected 2024, 1 year remaining, eligible for re-election. Bertha Corley elected 2025 for a 2-year term. Road report, Jerry Sullivan, old culvert on Highline Road collapsing, replacement needed, 2 20-foot sections, 18-inch diameter, discussed at that time. Drainage ditch work on Lakeside completed with assistance from Bertha and Bill Corley for the use of their tractor, and Joe Chambers for the mini excavator. Commissioner Tommy Park offered assistance in sourcing culverts at county rates. Board duties and responsibilities, draft list of officer and board member duties circulated to be reviewed by board and voted on at the next meeting. Records retention policy, secretary will draft policy based on Texas property code requirements. Legal financial documents must be retained permanently. Others may have shorter timelines. Draft to be presented at next meeting. Code of conduct, draft code of conduct for meeting attendees presented by Secretary Harris. Motion to adopt, unanimously approved, to be distributed to all property owners. Reimbursements, Mike Harris reimbursement, unanimously approved by board vote for $58 for management certificate and DBA filing. Charlene O'Brien reimbursement, unanimously approved by a board vote for $36.15 for POA expenses. Kelly Rom's receipts, $200, returned with reimbursement form for resubmission. Board will vote after review. New reimbursement form adopted requiring receipts, registered requester signature, and 3 board approvals within 90 days. Bylaws committee report, Kay Sullivan gave report. Bylaws committee will met twice in July. Draft revisions prepared to reflect current unincorporated nonprofit association status. Board will review within 1 week and provide feedback. Final draft to be mailed to property owners for comment and later vote. Revisions will be presented in separate amendments, not an all or nothing vote. Open discussion, property owner comments. Commissioner Tommy Park gave an update on culvert assistance. He has 2 30-foot, 18-inch diameter culverts available, and he talked about upcoming jail bond election in November 2025. Tim O'Brien spoke, and Joe Chambers spoke as well. Other business, open carry firearms prohibited at POA meetings. Concealed carry remains allowed. Next meeting scheduled, special meeting August 30th, 2025 at 9 a.m. Bylaws, board duties, reimbursements, other items. Fall meeting October 25, 2025 at 10 a.m. Move from November 1st due to hunting season. Vote to change early fall meeting to second Saturday of November, approved by board unanimously. Adjournment, motion to adjourn carried unanimously. Meeting adjourned at 11:24 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Mike Harris, Secretary.
Okay. Discussion on the Secretary's report. Got a couple of changes that I'm aware of that we need to make.
Okay.
One of them is in 3 where the treasurer's report is.
Yeah.
Chico 975 is for lighting, not mowing.
Oh, okay.
I wish they would mow for us, but nope. Okay. And then on old business, 5, Kelly Harrell, she's not eligible for re-election at the next election.
Okay.
Okay. And on number 6, road report, drainage ditch work on Lakeside is not completed. We've still got some more work to do down there.
On the Riverport?
Yeah, it's in, so.
So not completed?
Not
Okay.
completed at this time. That was all that I had. Kelly has something here as well.
Yeah. So on number 5, I think we need to change where it said the board accepted his resignation and Bertha was elected to fill that position. I think we need to say was elected to fill the vacant position, because it was argued ad nauseum that Phil's position wasn't a valid position to begin with. Secondly, do we no longer put who made the motions? Are we not putting that anymore? Like so-and-so made the motion? Because I don't see that in any.
I don't have them in there. It's on the recording. I can certainly go back and add all those,
I think that's probably a good idea.
to add the motions.
Yes.
Okay.
And then also, are we no longer summarizing what the property owners said when they speak?
I don't feel it's necessary because that is open to interpretation. And as we've seen in the past, things that have showed up on the minutes do not reflect what the recording says. So whatever the property owner says, if the board would like me to summarize it, then I can certainly do that. But I think that just my opinion is no, it's open for interpretation, but the board can certainly discuss it.
I think we should just have a synopsis, and if somebody needs more detail, they can refer to the recording then.
Okay.
I think that's,
Yeah, I do too. I think
That's
if
a
it
good
affects board business, it should be documented. If it doesn't, then
yeah.
So I'll add a summarization
Yes.
for what is said.
Okay. Anybody got anything else? Okay. Now, we did not have a May.
So, question before we continue.
Okay.
I had handed you I printed out where we can once these the meeting minutes are approved, then we can have each member sign that they
Yes.
if they approved.
Yes.
Is that something that we'd like to do, like make formal?
Yes, I'm in agreement that we need to do that, but at this point, I think you need to make these revisions before we approve.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So present these next meeting?
Yes,
Do the revisions next
yes,
meeting? Okay.
with the changes that we discussed.
Okay.
I do have a question. So did we permanently change the regular scheduled board meetings to November, the second week in November, the second Saturday in November, as opposed to the first Saturday of the quarters?
Yes.
Is that a permanent change?
That's my recollection, yes.
Yeah. Yep. Don't want to interfere with Texas hunting season, right? That was the.
Yeah,
Yes, but just keep in mind, we're a board of 5. If one person can't make it, that doesn't mean we need to start juggling everybody's schedule, because that's the whole purpose of having a schedule, so we can plan our lives.
Exactly.
So I hope everybody understands that.
No, that
we are a board of 5, and we have at least 3 hunters here
yeah.
on this board.
Yeah.
So, but your point is well made.
Sharon, may I make a comment? Bill did resign verbally on his phone call.
Yeah, there was not a question about that, about him resigning, was there? No. Okay. All right. Now at the last meeting, we did not have minutes for the May 29th meeting, and Kelly Harold said that she would go back and find those and provide those to us. And she did provide her minutes to us. And then after I reviewed them, I asked Mike to go back to the recordings from that meeting, and because I felt like some things had been left out of the meeting minutes that Kelly had provided. So we have the items that were left out was the fact that the primary purpose of the meeting was to vote on 3 ballot issues. One of the ballot issues were removing myself from the board, removing Charlene O'Brien from the board, and the ballot on whether we wanted to be an incorporation or be a unincorporated association. And so I will go ahead and read the minutes from the recorded session, and I'll read it and see if we have any comments on that. Meeting was called to order by Kelly Rom at 6 p.m. A disclaimer was issued that a special board meeting. It was a special board meeting of the Camp Branch Acres POA held electronically by Texas Property Code. Please note that the Camp Branch subdivision does not have a dedicated social meeting page and the Facebook page Camp Branch Acres Resident. It's not affiliated with the POA in any way. Any information that may be posted about this association should be regarded as false unless approved by the board of directors. Any emails that are not specifically from CBAPOA should also be regarded as unvetted opinions. We had a roll call. The board members were present. The following board members were present: Phil Kennedy via phone, Kelly Harrell, Jerry Sullivan, Charlene O'Brien, Kelly Rom. Board member ballot question. Am I reading the right one?
You're reading the original.
Yeah, you're reading the original. Yeah.
Okay. And then it's
You've got an updated one there.
okay. Charlene O'Brien asked chairman what the instructions were given, and the instructions were if the ballots did not have a postmark or not received by 4, if they were copied ballots, if the holograms were peeled, or if hologram didn't match, then they weren't counted. Kelly Rom, and then we moved on to banking information. Kelly Rom stated the bank has given the board a deadline of 5:30 to pick up the checks. Kelly Rom stated that all the banks she checked with require franchise exemption, and its CBAPOA no longer has the exception as it was revoked due to the forgery. Jerry disagreed and stated that this is not a requirement. Discussion ensued about who would pick up the check. Charlene will do due diligence on potential banks and provide this information to the board Wednesday, June 4th. Motion by Kelly Harrell for Kelly Rom and Charlene to go to the bank to pick up the check. Whoever the bank releases it to will be the person to hold the check. Phil Kennedy seconded. All were not in favor. Charlene abstained. Jerry voted no. Motion was passed. Annual meeting discussion on when to have an annual meeting. June 28th was discussed, but Jerry was not available on that date and suggested the following weekend, July the 5th. The time decided was 9 a.m. and the location was to be determined. Charlene was going to check with Hog Heaven about using their clubhouse. Then on the ballots, Kelly Harrell will be responsible for sending out the ballots and will request nominations again. And it was adjourned at 6:27 p.m. Then the one from, where is it?
It's this one.
Thank you. Okay, then the one that I asked Mike to go back and produce from the recording. We'll go back to Phil Canada was present by phone. Charlene, Kelly, Jerry, and Kelly were all present. The meeting was called to order by Kelly Ron. She stated that we don't have an official website and all that good stuff. Okay. Agenda number 1, member vote. The board discussed the member vote. The ballot was collected and counted by a neutral third party consisting of Tommy Park, Mary Wallace, Justice of the Peace, Constable Lawrence Adamic, Giovanni Levati. I probably mispronounced that wrong, but anyway, Trinity County Media, and Rachel King, Port Adventure. Jerry Sullivan asked if any votes were discounted. Tommy Park stated that one was not counted. It was received by the property owner at the meeting and was therefore considered late. One ballot was a return to sender and was not counted. The results: ballot 1, removal of Charlene from board, 13 yes, 31 no. It failed. Ballot 2, removal of Jerry Sullivan from board, 13 yes, 31 no. The ballot failed. Ballot 3, status of association. Do the property owners want to be incorporated? 17 yes, 26 no. Failed. All 3 ballots failed. The ballots, including disqualified, were sealed and initialed for record retention. Results were accepted unanimously by the board. Discussion was held regarding association's banking arrangements. The current bank required closure of the existing account. Discussion by Kelly Rom about the association nonprofit status, franchise tax exemption status, whether the association would be able to establish another bank account, with board members disagreeing over details and interpretations. A motion was made that both the chair, Kelly Rom, and treasurer, Charlene O'Brien, go to the mic together to pick up the cashier's checks of the association's funds. Whomever the bank releases the checks will hold them until a new account is opened. Motion passed. 3-1-1. 3 for, 1 against, and 1 abstain. Motion by Phil, seconded by Kelly Harrell. Kelly Ron voted yes. Kelly Harrell, yes. Phil Canada, yes. Charlene O'Brien abstained. Jerry Sullivan, no. It was agreed that additional due diligence will be conducted to identify a bank that can support an unincorporated association. A report will be presented by the end of next week to finalize the decision. Agenda item 3, annual meeting. The annual meeting was scheduled for July 5th, 2025 at 9 a.m., location to be determined. Notices will be sent to members in advance. Adjournment. There being no further business, the meeting was adjourned by unanimous board vote. Following adjournment, Rachel King from Port Adventure POA provided remarks on their association's experience. Anybody have any comments?
We just at the time it was adjourned.
Okay. We will make a note to go back and add the time, or do you have it on yours?
6:27.
Okay. Add 6:27. That's the time that the meeting was adjourned.
Okay.
Nice date. 6:27 p.m. Okay. Anybody else? Do we have a motion to accept this version of the July 29th meeting?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
Okay. Do we have a vote?
Aye.
Kelly
Yes.
Harrell, yes. Charlene O'Brien, yes.
Yes.
Bertha, yes. Mike,
Yes.
Jerry, yes. So it's unanimous. Okay, we will pass that down to sign off.
It was May 29th meeting, correct? For those meeting minutes?
Yes.
Okay, you said July.
I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, can we move on to the treasurer report?
It wasn't on the agenda. It wasn't.
I know,
Lucky for you.
yes.
Treasury report. Beginning cash on hand, $15,522.26. We had no income. Expenses were Hog Heaven Estates Clubhouse for meeting, $50. Texas Materials Road Materials from February, $1,155.03. Trinity County, a culvert for Highline Road, $466.14. Great American Insurance Company for Director and Officer Insurance, 2025 through 2026, $1,493. Total expenses were $3,164.17, leaving us an available checking account balance of $12,358.09.
Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Second.
Okay, we have a vote to accept the treasurer's report.
Yeah.
Bertha?
Yes.
Charlene? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay, it's unanimous. We'll
Yes, yes.
go ahead and accept that. Okay, at the last meeting, I made a statement that was incorrect. Kelly Rom had submitted a request for reimbursement for postage and envelopes for the ballot initiative, and I had stated that I thought there were some charges in there that I did not agree with. As it turns out, after reviewing her request, she had only put in there for stamps and envelopes that were appropriate for the ballot initiative, and so we need to go ahead and approve the payment.
There's filings in there that I could not track back,
Yeah,
that I had questions on, those county filings.
okay.
So where did those go? Where's the documentation for those? So,
We'll pay for the stamps and the envelopes, and we'll still request documentation.
so the Trinity County clerk filing of $54 is not approved at this time?
Not until we have documentation on that. Okay. Or, that's my motion, okay?
We've got to have a paper trail, that's just all there is to it.
Yep.
Okay. I don't have a calculator.
I do.
It's not working.
Give me, wait a minute, 1 second. Okay. Wait, I thought I was ready, but I wasn't. Now I am, okay. Uh, 221 minus 54. $167.
Okay.
So I make a motion to approve the payment to Kelly Rom in the amount of $167 that documentation has been presented for. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second. Okay, let's do a vote.
Yes.
Aye.
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 Okay,
Unanimous.
yep,
For that.
yep,
Need signatures?
Yep.
Need 2 signatures?
yep.
I was just telling him, I think that's his ducks being really noisy over there.
Oh,
I'll send a letter out to her that we need more backup on the court filings.
Okay.
There's Mike.
Okay, we have a request for reimbursement by Mike Harris for the management certificate and the DBA that was done on the 11th of July in the amount of $58. And he has the receipt for that. So I'll make a motion that we reimburse Mike Harris for the $58.
Second.
Got a second? Okay, we got a vote?
Yes.
Aye.
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 Unanimous? I'll let Bertha sign this time, so we share the responsibilities.
Mike, we need to add the actual court filing to this receipt,
Okay.
if we could, please.
Yeah, I'll get it to you.
Bertha, please approve.
Sign it.
There's a line there for you.
Yeah, Mike can't approve his own.
Yeah. Okay. We have a request from Charlene O'Brien for boat ramp light payment to Chico for June and the amount of $19.
That was June and July.
June and July, in the amount of $19.50, and we have a receipt for that. We have a request for reimbursement for shoreline fee for the year 2025 to TRA in the amount of $13.50, and we have a receipt for that. And we have a request for reservation entity name CBAPOA with the Secretary of State in the amount of $40, and we have a receipt for that. And we have July 9th postage, large envelope for IRS filing. United Postal Service at $3.15, and we have a receipt for that. So the total reimbursement request is $76.15. So I'll make a motion that we approve reimbursing Charlene for these expenses. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second. Kelly, Harold. Need a vote?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yay.
Yeah. All right.
Unanimous vote to approve that?
Yes. Today is the 30th. Okay, we'll let Mike and Bertha approve those, along with myself. Am I speaking too low? If I am, just tell me, okay? All right. Any?
Copies of things again, if anybody needs to go back over them.
Okay, that's fine. Moving on to the road report. Like I said in the minutes, we have worked over on Lakeside. We still have some work to do there, and we plan upon doing it. It's just a matter of scheduling time and equipment. And once we finish that, then hopefully the road will be packed down some, and then we can fill in the low spots and the potholes that are developing because of the work that we did in there.
Yeah.
So and we still have some additional work to do for Eric and Pam over on their side of that road. Then we went down and we replaced the culvert on Highline, and that work's not complete yet either. We have some corrections we need to make on one side of the road. The culvert is trying to pop up, so we're going to have to do a little bit more work on getting it to the right elevation. And of course, whenever we did that work, the night after we did it, we had a deluge of rain, so it caused a little bit of settling and all. We've got rock over it. It's passable, and whenever we do these, the repair that still needs to be made, I don't foresee we'll have to shut down the road. People will still be able to get by. And that rain pointed out to us that the ditch line running from up the hill down to that culvert, in some spots it's completely filled in. One spot in particular where the water doesn't even get down to that culvert. It goes to that spot and then it goes across the road, and that's some of our road issues. So we will be cleaning out that culvert, that ditch line as well to correct that problem. So, we're trying to catch up on road repairs and cleaning out culverts. The culverts have been neglected, or not culverts, ditch lines that have been neglected for years. So just have a little patience. We'll get there. Okay. So anyway, we did buy a 30-foot, 30-inch culvert, polyethylene or plastic culvert that we used to replace that culvert on Highline, and that we bought it from the county because Tommy Parks doesn't put a markup on what his cost is, and he delivered the culvert for free, and he saved us about $300 from what we would have had to pay at a minimum when I checked prices with other places. And we have that documentation. So again, have patience with us. We recognize we've got more road work to do, and we'll do it as time and equipment availability is available to us. Any questions regarding road work? Okay. Then there's I need to see, does the board have any other items that they would like to discuss at this time?
I've got a few items
Okay.
from the secretary side of things. Right now we have an issue with our mailbox. The mailbox that we currently have is not, the address that we're using is not associated with any type of structure. So it's not for a building. So when you, and a great example of this is like when you have your mail delivered to your home, you can go to the U.S. Postal Service website and register your address, and then every day the Postal Service will send you an email telling you what you're going to get for your mail. That's called informed delivery, I believe. Because we don't have the CBAPOA doesn't have a registered box, and it's not associated any type of address, we can't get that verification of what's coming into our mailbox. So I did a little, I went down to Onalaska.
Mike, 1 second. Not only that, if you have registered mail, it can't be delivered, right?
That's right. That is correct. And right now, that's a great point. So right now, it's correct me if I'm wrong, but the address is like East Highline Road, but then
Big Lake.
or Big Lake. No,
Lake. It's Big Lake.
It's Big Lake?
Yes.
Okay, and then it's changed to West Big Lake Road, and it's, it can't be registered. So if someone delivers a registered item there, say someone needs a records request, and under Texas Property Code, anyone can request records if you're a member, and you have to send a registered letter to the board to request that. That's the way it's set up under Texas Property Code. That's not going to get to us because we don't have an official mail address, and that's a problem.
The mailbox has 125 on it, okay? But that 125 address doesn't exist. That's what the problem is. So if the mailman goes to looking for 125 on Big Lake Road, it's not there, and so they can't deliver. That's the issue.
That's right, and they'll currently, and this goes just a little backstory on that. I believe the secretary at the time, several years ago, said that mail could come to her house, but it's a tool shed on her property on West Big Lake, and it's kind of just been left that way. But we need to get this up to date because this could potentially turn into a problem if registered mail can't get through, if a property owner is requesting records or other issues, that can become a problem. So I talked to the post office in Onalaska. A quick and easy way to fix this is to just get a PO box, which you're allowed to do by Texas Property Code. I got some prices for that, and since it's a registered PO box, then USPS will send out whenever there's email or whenever there's mail in the box to whatever member on the board is designated to get that mail. Or better yet, that email can come right into CBAPOA, the Gmail account, the email Gmail account for CBAPOA, and then that will get put into a Google group and can be sent out, disseminated to all the members of the board. So the board members see any type of incoming mail that comes in, just for transparency's sake, which I think is a great thing. The P.O. Box, the one, they don't have an 11-inch by 5.5-inch. That's kind of a standard page like this. They don't have any of those boxes open. But they now have the next size down open. I don't think we need a full-size box anyway. I don't have to have it sitting in there. So the next size box is 5-inch by 5.5-inch, which is a standard business letter, and they just kind of fold it over a little bit and then put it in your box. Now, if you have something larger, like a manila business envelope that's full size, they put that in the back, and then they put the little card in your mailbox, and you just go and turn it in and get it. Or if there's a package or something bigger, just like you'd get at your residential email or a residential home. The cost on that is, the clerk gave me a range, like she wasn't 100% sure. So she said it's somewhere between $52 and $55 per 6 months. So that's a 6-month P.O. box rental between $52 and $55. So basically, you're looking at the max $110 per year to have that in Alaska, and that just has the you're able to do that. The other idea that was presented was that somebody on the board have their address registered with the state and have POA mail sent to their home, which I think is a really bad idea because, again, you're kind of commingling POA business with, personal address. And if the board members, the homeowner is going to be reluctant to send forward the mail that they may receive for, checking for POA business because it's going to be mixed in with all their personal mail. So this is a quick and easy, what I think low-cost solution at the max of $110 per year. And we're able to take care of POA business, get registered mail, get instant notification for that. Before I make a motion, any questions or discussion?
That's what I was going to say. Any questions, discussion, anybody?
Need to
So
make a
how many
motion to
envelopes will
discuss.
fit in there? You said they fold it, so when we have ballots, which I can tell you is numerous, what happens to
is-
everything that doesn't fit in the
So
box?
what they do is they collect that mail, they keep it in the back, and then they put the slip of paper in your mailbox. Just like if you have a registered letter or you have a large size like envelope or a box or a package or something along that lines.
Okay.
Mike, I have a question.
Yes.
You're talking about that box that's up here on the street that we used to put things in, ballots or whatever. Is that the box you're referring to?
The mailbox, yeah, up by the old turtle pond there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the number, it's not a valid number, in other words?
It-
No, it doesn't belong to a physical address. That's the problem.
So you said we get most of our mail through emails from the board or whatever, but you're saying there's something extra besides the emails?
Right. So for example, a property owner wants to send a registered letter to the board and say, I've got questions, I want access to the records. Okay, which we're required to provide by the state of Texas property code. Well, if
He was saying
when whoever's delivering the mail goes to that mailbox, they don't have a physical address to go to get a signature for that registered for that registered letter.
So any board business we get would be mailed out probably, I guess. Like if we had to okay something or vote for something, or would that be sent through the regular mail to us? I mean, our home?
Oh yes, yeah. If we need to send a ballot out or something, that'll just go out.
This is just primarily to get to the board.
Right. This
information.
is incoming mail to CBAPOA board.
I wasn't clear. Okay, thank you.
And yet, okay.
Just to give some background, it was Jewel Green, and she has a bedroom building back there that her son used to come and stay in. It has a bedroom, an air conditioner, a coffee pot, stuff like that. She went to the Trinity Post Office, and they said, and it's like, what can we do? What can we do? We don't have an actual building. And they said, you can designate that building as a CBAPOA building. And that's why we have it. It should be 125 West Big Lake.
Yeah.
For some reason, somewhere along the line, it got made to East Big Lake, which there is no 125. So it should have been 125 West Big Lake all along.
Long story short,
Long story short, that's just the background of why it was, and she got the permission from the Trinity Post Office to do that at that time. That was in the 90s.
and back then we had a dedicated mail carrier, and he understood. To today, they're switching all the time, and they're confused. So this,
I just wanted people to know the background.
yeah. So it has become an issue, and this is a way of resolving it.
Right.
Okay. Any further discussion? Tim?
If we live in Trinity, pay taxes in Trinity, and have a Trinity address, why are we going down Alaska?
My question exactly.
I was gonna ask, did Trinity not have any boxes
Close.
available?
Trinity's a lot more expensive.
That's what I just mentioned to Jerry, that I would reach out to Trinity
Yeah.
Post
Oh, I
Office.
can do that.
We-
The only reason I picked Alaska is it's a little closer and just a bit more convenient because I know I'm in Alaska a lot more than I'm in Trinity.
But I think what we can do at this point in time is we can have a motion to approve renting a post office box, and we can determine where. And because that small box may, we could get by with it, but if Trinity might have a box that you were saying would be ideal for us,
The larger size up.
Yeah, then since Onalaska doesn't, that gives us even another reason why we should look at Trinity, okay?
So that would increase the cost by about $20 to $25 per year.
Right.
I think I've got it written down there.
Yes, yes. So let's, if I can, I propose we make a motion to purchase or rent a post office box and
Location to be determined.
location to be determined based upon availability and price.
Yeah.
Okay?
Not to be difficult, but Mike, I'm looking at this and it's talking about things that are required to have this PO box. And it says that you must prove your physical address. And doesn't that put us right back where we are right now? CBAPOA doesn't have a physical address.
I asked about that, and they said that's something that I could discuss and we could work out with them in Alaska.
It appears to me that somebody is going to have to give a physical address. And what you were saying earlier is for someone to personally give their address is not a wise thing to do, yet
Well,
it says on here that it's required.
Well, there's a difference between giving your address to, like, I'd be willing to give my address to the post office as secretary, as a point of contact is really what that is. That's a point of contact for the PO box that I discussed with them. So that's fine because I'm actually on the board and I can show them something, you know, I'm on the board. And then the mail is not coming to my house personally, it's going to the PO box. So the informed consent that gets emailed out every day to the board members will go there, and there's no personal.
So two things. I think that the email absolutely needs to go to cbapoa@gmail.com and only that email address. And I think the point of contact is the chairman, and
That's fine.
he needs to be the one listed on the paperwork, just like he is on, or just like the chair is listed on the management certificate, just to keep everything clean.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's my suggestion.
Yeah, I'm good.
But
with
other than that, I agree. The PO box is a great idea. That's the only two questions that I had.
So do you have a motion to make?
Uh,
Charlene? You're the one who has a specific.
Yes,
specificity.
based on that information, moving forward, doing it in that manner, I make a motion that we accept the expense of the post office box for informed delivery and delivery of CBAPOA mail.
A second.
Okay. Can we have a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous.
All right, unanimous.
And I'd like to amend my motion to Trinity County Post Office.
Yeah, so I'll go down to Trinity County and try to get the larger box there.
Would you like me to do that, since I can go ahead and pay for it at the same time?
If you'd like to. if you're in that way.
No, I agree. I had 2 outgoing items in this mailbox for a solid week. It was only on Friday when I checked the box, realized that they had put the flag down and the outgoing mail was still in there.
This is still in there. Yeah.
So the mail here is spotty at best.
Okay. Well then, I'll give that to you.
You talked about the mail here, there's been a box on our section of mailboxes, it's about this big, about that. It's to someone in Seguin, Texas, the address is supposed to go. It's been there forever, so I have to go to the post office box. I mean, to Alaska on Monday to mail something. I'm taking it to them because it's just sit there, and she doesn't know, or he doesn't take it back. You know, and it's obviously the wrong address. Seguin, just leave it there.
Okay. Do we have any other business anybody like to bring up at this time?
Yeah, so last meeting, Charlene handed out a board of directors duties and responsibilities and said we were going to discuss at this meeting and see. So I'm just wondering if we're going to discuss that.
Well, I reviewed it and I didn't have any issues with it. Has anybody else reviewed it?
I did, no issue.
No issue? Did
No, I didn't have a problem with it.
you, Charlene?
Yes, I have a typo that I need to correct, and I also need to correct that the November meeting is now the second Saturday.
Okay.
Okay.
And just what this was, so last meeting, Charlene handed out a board of directors duties and responsibilities. And it's just a basic guideline of just kind of telling the three officers, the list for chairman, secretary, and treasurer, just kind of a basic list. And since we're all volunteers and you have people that may, hey, I want to be on the board, and you come in and you're not quite sure what you're getting into, it kind of gives an idea of what is going to be done. But more importantly, this is going to get posted up on the website, which I'm going to talk about as well. But this will get posted up on the website when it's completed, so that folks can look at it and see what the different responsibilities are. That way, if you have a question in your mind about, I'd like to reach out to one of the board members, a question, then kind of help you out as well for some guidance. So.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the board members' responsibilities?
Motion.
Okay, Kelly Harold made a motion to accept them. Do we have a second?
All right, second.
Mike seconded. Vote.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Bertha?
Aye.
Unanimous? Okay.
All right. And discussing the website, we discussed last time. I've been, there was a motion to have me work on the website, so that I've got it pretty much complete to the point where it's going to go up. But bit of an issue that needs to be discussed amongst the board here is the current website. The address on there is CBAS.-POA.net. I've got a different solution for that because there's kind of two issues with that. The first issue is I'm not sure who it's registered under. I think it's registered with Kelly Rom under Namecheap. I don't have any access to it at this point. I don't see, unless Charlene knows if something's was submitted from her to pay for that, and the board reimbursed her for that expense, because at this point I don't think it's not in control of the board, the CBAS.POA.net.
No, it's not. She never gave me any information regarding that website.
My recollection is at one of the meetings that she said she was going to do it, and she was donating it at that time.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's an issue at this point. And then the other issue is it's CBAS-POA.net, and that S is signifying the subdivision, and unfortunately that's that is attached to an entity that was an attempt to incorporate Camp Ranch Acres.
It no longer exists.
And that does no longer exist. It's closed. So that's the other issue there.
But we
Now
didn't
the
see a DBA to cover that.
yeah.
That's the question.
Go ahead.
So-
Go ahead.
So at this point, Jen Harris has volunteered to. I'll have her speak to what she has volunteered as far as.
Oh, well, I have the domain name CBAPOA.org. That was the domain name for our website for many years. I had donated basically the use of it. I will donate as in full ownership transfer to the board, and it's registered for 10 years. You guys have a domain name for 10 years for free. Just to allay any fears, CBAPOA.org, whenever that name is transferred over to new ownership, I have no ability to do anything with it. It's just like selling a house. You don't get to go sleep in the same bedroom. You're out, you're done. So once the ownership is over to CBAPOA, you guys have the domain name that's been used for many, many years within y'all's control, and it's registered for 10 years. You don't have to worry about any money for it for quite a while.
So the domain name will be paid for 10 years with no cost. And then the website is through Google Sites, and that is free. So we'll actually have we'll be in compliance with Texas Property Code. We'll have a free. It's been paid for. The name's been paid for the next 10 years, and it's also free from Google Sites. So there'll be no cost to us. So, and then we'll be able to update the website and just keep track of things. Now, since it's being transferred over to the board itself, it'll be in the name of CBAPOA. It'll belong to the board in perpetuity. So going forward, then whatever, it doesn't matter who's on the board. The board controls the name of the website, and then the website is free through Google Sites. So. And then if the decision is made to do that, then that can quickly be set up, and just information turned over to the board to verify that, and the updated website will go there, and then that information will be put out to all the members very quickly.
One of the benefits of that is if somebody is wanting to buy property up here and they Google search Camp Ranch Acres, that website comes to the top when there's content on it. It's been down since the election, but as soon as there's content on it, it always rises to the top because it has the length of time that it has existed that Google gives it higher precedence. So it will. If somebody's looking to try to find out about Camp Ranch Acres, they're going to find y'all's official website before anything else.
Okay.
So that's another advantage.
So for clarity purposes,
Yes.
you do not have access. You can't get help me out. Authentication for the one that is listed on the management certificate. Because I know you've tried. So that's what you're saying. You're still locked out. You still can't do what you need to do as secretary to update that site, correct?
Correct.
You're still locked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's it. We don't need to elaborate. That's
Yeah.
it. You're still locked out. You've tried. So you've tried for 2 months.
Right.
And you can't get anywhere.
Right with that.
Okay.
All right. Any further discussion on this before we ask for a motion? Okay. Do we have a motion to accept this proposal? To accept the transfer of the CBAPOA website from Jennifer Harris, the ownership of it from Jennifer Harris to Camp Branch Acres Property Owners Association.
I make a motion that we accept the proposal from Jennifer Harris to transfer ownership of CBAPOA.org web address into the ownership of CBAPOA in perpetuity, and that it has been paid for the next 10 years, and there's no cost to CBAPOA
A second.
For the next 10 years.
for the next 10 years.
With the understanding that now you have to file another management certificate to update that website.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that will incur some expense, but that's okay. It's what we need to do.
So it's probably going to be about $55.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Bertha, you said you second?
Yeah.
Okay. We have a vote.
Aye.
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 Unanimous. Okay. So I have an issue that's been brought.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'll get to yours. Okay. I have issue that's been brought to my attention that I feel needs to be addressed. Our previous insurance carrier provided me with a loss run showing that there has been a suit filed, or
Claim.
there has been a claim filed with them regarding the lawsuit that was filed against Kelly Harrell and Kelly Rom regarding changing
The incorporation.
the incorporation of the subdivision, and and they are, our insurance carrier was for the CBA POA. The claim was filed against CBA SPOA, and that suit was against two individuals, not the board of CBA POA. And I feel that it's incumbent upon us to advise the insurance carrier that that claim should not be honored because it wasn't, they insured CBA POA, and the lawsuit is not against CBA POA. It's on behalf of CBA POA. And I think we need to advise them of such. So I'm going to make a motion that we authorize sending a notice to Cover Wallet, who was the insurance carrier at that time, that we feel it's not a valid claim. So.
And to elaborate on that, Jerry, it's not a valid claim because it was not, we cannot find a referenced board action. There wasn't board discussion, it's not in the minutes, it wasn't voted on, so it wasn't a board action. We looked into it.
Right, it wasn't an authorized board action.
Right.
Yes, and thank you for, I was going to say that and I forgot it, okay? So anyway, thank you for that.
So I would beg to differ with that in the sense that Kelly and I were working as board members for CBA POA at the time. That's what was done while we were board members under CBA POA.
But it wasn't an authorized action authorized by the board. So,
Can I ask you a quick question? Can you, for somebody who knows nothing, who's suing who and what's the lawsuit?
Mike and Jen are suing Kelly and I.
So as
We actually cannot speak to it right now because we've been told that we cannot speak in the room with Kelly Harrell about the lawsuit without her lawyer here because it is ex parte communications.
okay, so.
So to respectfully decline discussing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all I can say is, yes, I am a board member, and yes, there is an ongoing action,
Mike,
legal action, and that's it.
Real quick here,
He's
sorry.
asked
Is the, one, what does the lawyer say? Or do you have a lawyer?
there,
And two is what, if we can't discuss it now, why are we discussing it?
there is a hearing based on this suit on September the 8th in Groveton. Okay. The only reason why we're discussing it is the fact that the insurance claim has been filed, and we feel that the claim is not valid, and we need to advise the
I mean,
insurance.
y'all can do what you're gonna do, that's y'all's job, but,
Yeah.
I mean, September 8th is not that far away.
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
So anyway, without further discussion, I make a motion that we authorize
Correspondence to Cover Wallet.
authorize correspondence to Cover Wallet to advise them that in the Board of Count Branch Acres POA's opinion, the suit is not valid. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay. We have a vote.
Jerry, are you really gonna have a vote with two members of the suit
Right.
voting on it?
Exactly.
Or
It's
recusing
conflict of
themselves
interest.
immediately?
Exactly, so,
Well, I will abstain, and I think Kelly Harrell should abstain, and I think Mike Harris should abstain.
and that's what I plan to do, was abstain.
There's a
Like
difference
this-
between recusing and abstaining. Recusing means you leave the room and aren't even party to the discussion.
Exactly.
All right, well then we should,
I think we're done, so.
Okay, let's leave the room.
Can't, there's not a.
well, then there's not a
Discussion
quorum.
has already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, the box is open there, so.
Well, the bottom line is when I had to get director and officer insurance, it was brought to my attention that there was a claim with Cover Wallet. It was never disclosed to the board. I've been on this board for a year. We never discussed that there was a claim being filed with Cover Wallet. It was news to me when I kept getting turned down by everybody for our directors and officers insurance. And it's through Great American Insurance Company now that I was advised to address the Cover Wallet claim. So our current directors and officers insurance has instructed me to address that claim. I was told find minutes. I can't find any minutes where it was a board activity, and I've got to disclose that to Cover Wallet. I mean, I can't legitimize the claim whether or not we were told about it, voted on it, or anything, because it's not there. It doesn't exist. That is what I'm going to do. I'm going to provide correspondence to Cover Wallet based on that. It's plain and simple. It's black and white.
Okay,
Is one of your duties as treasurer to secure and obtain director's liability insurance?
Yes, ma'am.
yes it is,
Seems like that falls in your duties then.
Yes.
yes.
As
Okay,
difficult as it was this year.
okay, so we will cancel the motion that I made, and we will proceed, okay? Any other issues to be addressed?
I would like to follow up on the Trinity County original amendment filings as to where are they? What happened to them?
I think you have to ask the person that filed them.
Well, whenever I was secretary and resigned, I had a blue binder of bylaws with all the original county documents in it that I gave to Kelly Rom. That did not come back to us.
And I asked
She's
Kelly-
ghosted me. She's not responding at all.
And she doesn't respond to me.
I asked her and she said she turned over everything.
They don't exist. They're not there. That binder didn't even come back.
So what all
So
is-
we're just at a loss. We just say, okay, well, they're not
Somebody go to her
there.
house and ask her?
I
She's
have.
not responding to messages?
I had gone to her house previously about the website access and all of that. I will go to her house and personally ask her about that, and then we will decide how we will proceed. Okay?
And do you recall the binder that I'm speaking of?
Yeah.
You gave it to me.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So it existed.
All right. I will commit to doing that. Okay. Moving on. Kay has something that she wants to bring up.
Yeah,
I mean, if everybody is agreeable that we're done with the board business, now this would be the section, the portion where we're open to discussion.
So I handed out bylaws. I don't know if we want to discuss the bylaws, then that would be next.
okay. You want me to get up there or can I just talk here? Everybody can hear me?
Burning something.
Okay. We had one meeting in August. We were scheduled for two, but due to illness and an emergency to go pick up a truck that we had an hour and a half to get to pick it up. We had to cancel the second meeting here in August. I did hand out the board previously the first amendments that we had gone over. and I have not gotten any response from anybody on, changing it or whatever. If there are any questions on the first bylaws that I sent, and then I handed you each a copy of the bylaws that we're, talking about and changing in this second one.
I think Bertha had some comment that you wanted to make, right?
Yeah, I don't know which one is the first and the second.
The second one has bylaw meeting August 7th, that's the second.
Oh, sure.
That's the second?
Yeah.
This one here.
First
This is
one-
August 7th.
First one
got the
had
first
was,
page.
August the 2nd.
Yeah, that's the second.
Okay.
But did we want to read through each of these separately and discuss
That's
them?
the way I showed up, because I heard there were bylaws and I didn't have a copy of it.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we haven't gotten them approved. We
But-
haven't gotten them approved, that's one.
Yeah, but we wanted their input, you know.
Would you like me to
Well, I
read?
wanted the board input, we're not sending them out to all the people until we can get a whole new bylaws done.
Well, as a
So
board,
is there any input on the board?
well, that's what I was saying. Like, I could read through these, and it's kind of killing two birds with one stone. We're putting it out there, and then we discuss it and see it as a board, because this has to be discussed in front of the membership.
Proceed.
I think one of the biggest things is, has the board voted that we're going to change it from, I mean, I suggested this when I first got on the board how many years ago and was shot down, that we change it from property owner to lot owner.
That's one of
And then
the-
what does that do to the maintenance
Well, that's-
fees? Because I think that's gonna be one of the biggest things.
That's one of the proposals we're gonna go through.
Right, but I think in looking at here, it doesn't have a dollar figure, and I think that's gonna be something that property owners are gonna wanna know about.
Well, they're gonna wanna know, that has to be researched a bit more before we have an exact. Before we put it out to a vote, we have to do some research on lots and look
So I
at
think
look at
then
numbers.
we
So,
should table this until then.
so at this point, this is a draft,
This
okay?
is a draft.
Okay,
Yeah,
and, okay, so please proceed.
all right. So I'll go to the original, the ones we first worked. It says paragraph B1 at the top, not the August 7 one. Proposed changes, subdivision is also noted as CBA, which is Camp Ranch Acres. The original was with exception of the lots, which may hereafter from time to time be specially reserved or set aside by developer for commercial or business use, or as parking and or boat launching area, and as an access way to the lakes, all single-family residential purposes and appropriate uses, accessory thereto only. And before I go any further, this is all going to be, the website's going to be updated, changed really quick. So this, with approval from the board, I'll put these up, and this is going to get out to the membership before it comes up to a vote, so people can comment on it. So this is just kind of a working draft, okay? So it's all going to be out there and discussed, just so everybody knows and understands. So we're going to change that to all lots within Camp Ranch Acres Property Owners Association are restricted to family residential use only, with the exception of any lots that may be specifically designated in the future for parking in connection with the boat launch area, providing access to Lake Livingston. Okay, and basically that is, that's just we're a family residential use only, okay, in our community. And then the boat launch is a specific area that we own, and we have the parking and things down there. B1A, all lots within the Camp Ranch Acres POA subdivision are restricted to family residential purposes only. No lot may be used for commercial, industrial, or multifamily purposes. The only exception to this restriction is the property specifically dedicated to and maintained by CBAPOA for the purpose of providing community access to Lake Livingston. This common area shall remain available for use for all members and may not be repurposed without a vote of property owners in accordance with the procedures established in these bylaws. No commercial activity is permitted on any property within CBAPOA subdivision that involves customers and/or employees physically coming to or from the premises. Additionally, the storage of inventory, business-related materials, or commercial equipment or vehicles is strictly prohibited. This restriction is intended to preserve the quiet residential character of the community and to ensure that no business operations are conducted within the subdivision. This amendment shall take place 60 days after being approved by a vote of the members of CBA Property Owners Association. B1B, all, and this is the proposed change, all rental or lease agreements for properties within Camp Ranch Acres POA must be for long-term use only. Before I go any further, should I stop after each one that I read and we can have a board discussion? Or what is the suggestion we do?
I would say yes.
I mean, that would be, instead of going through all of them, I think would be just,
Okay, do we have any notes?
So I have a question when you say commercial equipment and vehicle. So if somebody has a company truck, they're not allowed to drive their company truck home and park it on their lot. For example, Travis Elliott would no longer be allowed to park his company vehicle that he uses for work on his property. Is that what this is supposed to mean?
if somebody works for a company and brings, say, their company truck home overnight or on the weekend or whatnot, that's fine. What this is set up to do is to prevent any type of business activity where employees are constantly coming and going back and forth from a certain property within CBA.
My understanding, I thought, is the one truck that Travis owns, his employee owns it, and his employee rents property from Travis, and that's his work truck.
Well,
That's his only vehicle. So are we
Right.
saying that can't be
And if that's
parked there?
if that's the case, then and that employee, rents property from Travis and lives here in POA and comes and goes, then I would say that's allowed. Okay, because that is the work vehicle that has been signed over to that employee. What this was designed to, as we look at this, the bylaws right now state very basically that there are no business activities to happen within CBA. Okay, and that's something the members need to decide. We're either going to allow businesses to be in here and conduct business, or we're going to keep it residential only, single family residential like we are, and that's up to the membership. So that's what this is. So no, it's there's a lot of folks in the neighborhood that have like a work vehicle, and they drive in, they park, and then they go to work the next day. They're not doing any business on that behalf of that company. They're just coming and going. But if right now, if someone were to come into the community right now and open up a business, and we don't tell them they can't do that, then there's a precedent being set, and you're not going to, if anybody wanted to fight it legally, then there's a chance that we're not able to keep that business out of here, and then anyone is able to come in and open up a business. And that should be, like I said, that's a fear of mine. I want a nice, quiet little community with no businesses in here. But that's something people need to decide. So no, it's not to prevent.
I think there's some people here that have home businesses. I mean, I don't, but how do you define no business operations? If you have a company and your company is registered within this subdivision, to me, you're conducting a business activity. You have a business here, which means anybody who has a business registered in Camp Ranch would need to change that.
Yeah, so I have that same issue. somebody's sitting at home and has a business, and all they're doing is working on a computer and scheduling people and doing whatever, and then they're leaving and they're not doing anything physically on that lot, that doing repairs or building stuff or whatever for the business, then that they should be allowed to do that because they're not impacting. It would be the same as saying that Texas Infusions can't do business in this subdivision.
And then I think we got to take out that last sentence where it says no business operations. Because
We've
I think
got
that's
to-
open to interpretation.
We've got to further define what we're saying.
Yeah, I think if we say no commercial activity is permitted on any property within CBAPOA subdivision that involves customers and/or employees physically coming to or from the premises. Additionally, the storage of inventory, materials, or commercial equipment is prohibited, and strike the rest.
Agreed.
So, so say that again. Which
Just
which
take
sentence?
out the last
sentence.
sentence.
That last.
Combine the storage of inventory, strike business related. So the storage of inventory, materials, or commercial equipment is strictly prohibited.
So inventory. So additionally,
Strike business related.
business-related materials
Nope, not materials.
or a business. Okay, business.
The storage of
related.
inventory, comma, materials, or
Okay.
commercial equipment is strictly prohibited, period.
Storage of inventory, materials, or commercial equipment and vehicles is strictly prohibited.
Can we put multi-vehicles in there? Because I know what Travis says, but he's got more than one vehicle going in and out. He's got 3 or 4 vehicles that go in and out multiple times a day. Because they come to pick up equipment.
But in that
And he's
sentence,
got
it's
stored on his.
in that sentence, it's saying storage. So that would mean if you put multi, that means somebody could have one truck and that would be fine. But if somebody has 2 trucks, it's not okay.
Well, then,
That's how I would interpret it.
So I guess what we're saying is, so the sentence would be additionally, the storage of inventory or commercial equipment and vehicles is strictly prohibited.
Additionally, the storage of inventory, materials, or commercial equipment is strictly prohibited.
Okay, yeah.
And you think that needs to be taken out?
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, that's
Needs to
what,
be-
that's the proposed verbiage.
Okay.
That's what the verbiage that I'm proposing.
Okay, got you.
multiple vehicles, and I know he says he doesn't do it. His vehicles don't go in and out more than anybody else, but it does, and it is wear and tear because they do go in and out a lot, and they do go fast.
Well, we could be in jeopardy of having multiple vehicles.
Can we clarify the inventory as well? Because, I mean, somebody like my dad used to do a little deer stand
Mm-hmm.
and then sell them. That would be in violation of this, or put
Yeah.
together carports on his driveway and then take them somewhere, and that would be involved.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
get what the purpose is. I mean, I do get what the purpose is, but how do you thread that line to get what you want and not shut down somebody's business?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we certainly could add
And
in
how
there
do you
that.
enforce it?
Yeah, exactly. If you start making exceptions, yeah.
Yeah, so, and that's kind of the thing here, so
What's the consequence?
if we, and I know Travis's name has come up, so let's just clarify, I mean,
That sounds bad.
it does, and that's why I want to clarify this. When we were discussing this about, because there is verbiage right now in there that says you can't have any type of business in here, but it's not very specific, so we're trying to make this a little bit more with clarity on here. So here's the thing right now, and just in particular with Travis, okay? So, and it just, his name's come up. So you have someone that has, again, could be a fine line, but we just, you got vehicles coming in and out and just say anyone that has a business here and they have employees coming in and out and they're asking questions and they're picking up supplies or whatever the case may be. If they're coming in and out of the community during business hours, then it's kind of obvious every day of the week it's business related. So, but here's the problem with that. If anybody any of us could be doing that, and then if you don't address that, and then that's in your bylaws and covenants that you don't allow a business. So then someone else decides to open up a repair shop.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And so they open up a repair shop, and then we say to them, like, hey, you can't do that. You got customers bringing their vehicles in, you're fixing stuff.
I understand.
But then there's a precedent set, so we're
You broad brush it though, somebody could be woodworking and selling it on eBay, and that they're violating the deal. That's what I'm saying. I just think, since Travis's name has come up,
Right.
there's obviously a problem with that.
So
It would be nice if you go to Travis and say, hey, is there something we can work out that maybe you can meet you guys up front, or maybe you got a little yard somewhere else. Is there some way we can work it out? Because when you start painting with a broad brush, you end up creating problems. That's my only.
Can we?
That's my only.
Yeah, you're right. You can't make stickers at your house. You can't do Facebook porch pickup.
And
You
when
can't.
Can-
You're right. It's a slippery
Can't sell
slope.
vegetables.
so
Can we go ahead and mark the changes that we've already discussed on this subject? Because it still is a draft, and we'll
Right.
still have a chance to come back with additional proposed language or changes
Yes.
if we need to.
Yep.
And let's move on. Otherwise, we're going to be here till 4:00 this afternoon.
yes.
This part of we is not. This part of we is not. This part of we is not.
Yeah.
This we isn't either.
So next part, all rental or lease agreements for properties within Camp Ranch POA must be for long-term use only with a minimum lease of 12 months. Rentals must be to a single family only, and occupancy is limited to no more than 2 people per bedroom.
No.
Short-term rentals such as VRBO, Verbo, Airbnb, or similar services are not allowed. All renters or lessees must be informed and follow the CBAPOA bylaws.
Well, I know we have comments on this one.
Yes, we need to strike that occupancy limit.
Well, I also have to say, we're putting these things in there, but we're not saying how we're supposed to enforce it and what's the consequences. Are we gonna go door to door? How many people are living in your house? I've seen a lot of cars coming and going.
Yeah, I agree. That's
'Cause I'm certainly not
basically
prepared to do
unenforced.
that.
Yeah, that's. I don't want to put anyone in a position where they have to enforce
But
that.
if you go and you rent something vacation wise.
But how do
they
you
will
know?
Tell you, up to so many people, and it's usually 2 per bedroom,
Right,
and
but-
maybe a pull-out couch and everything.
But
So-
I could rent my place to somebody for 3 months, but how would anybody know if I don't tell you?
The thing that we
I mean,
find
I
with
just
this-
feel like you're talking about having to, all of us now police each other to go, they got somebody living there. I've seen their car there for 3 months. They must be living there. I mean, I don't,
The reason that is in here is so that we basically don't want weekenders coming in here to party all weekend and then leave.
but I don't know that we've had that problem. And if we did, I think we would address it.
We
I
have
still think
had-
you're gonna
we
have
had
trouble.
inquiries on that, yes.
I still think you're gonna have trouble enforcing it, because if we're gonna put it in there, then we, the board, need to figure out how are we gonna enforce it, and then what are gonna be the consequences should somebody break the
Well,
bylaw.
And you
I-
call the owners and you have the owners take care of it.
Well, I think we should take the no more than 2 people per bedroom out.
Okay.
Out of there. Okay.
That's my opinion.
So anything and where it says and occupancy is limited to no more than 2 people per bedroom. So let's break it down then. So let's talk about short-term rentals, like weekend rentals, Airbnb, Verbo. A lot of communities, when we discuss this, some communities out there are saying now no short-term rentals. We don't want people coming in, partying and everything. But on the flip side of that, someone may own a home here in the community and say, you know, I'd like the opportunity to rent my place out for the weekend. And that's really what it comes down to. And if, you know, and that's why the folks are going to get a chance to vote, you know, kind of yes or no. So all rental or lease agreements for properties within Camp Ranch Acres POA must be long-term only with a minimum lease of 12 months. Rentals must be to a single family only. Short-term rentals must be such as Verbo, Airbnb, and similar services are not allowed. All renters or lessees must be informed of and follow CBAPOA bylaws.
Mm-hmm.
Is that reasonable? Is that? And then people can vote yes or no on that.
That's a good start, you know.
Okay.
I propose that you add that contact information be submitted to CBAPOA, not for approval, not for authorization, just that whomever is residing there with that lease provides their contact information to the board.
That's a good point. So if there's a need to contact them, we
Yes.
have the information.
So contact info of leasee will be provided to POA CBA board.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, does that mean we're gonna start asking them to provide that lease when they provide the contact info?
We could.
Yes.
Because I don't know that that's gonna go over real well.
It could be a real simple form too. Responsible party, emergency contact.
And
And I will check on the background of that.
Okay.
Like, as far as being legal and everything.
okay,
Okay.
all right. That's a good point. We do need contact in case there's an emergency or something.
Right.
Contact info.
Yeah. Okay. Paragraph B6. I'll read the change to reservations. Update the state regulations. All private this is an update. All private driveways and walkways that cross drainage ditches along dedicated roadways or streets within Camp Ranch Acres must include properly sized ditches and culverts to ensure unimpeded water flow and prevent flooding. All culverts must be constructed from materials approved for such use by State of Texas and Trinity County. The minimum culvert size shall be 12 inches for private driveways and 18 inches for crossings underneath roadways or streets. The road commissioner can maybe chime in on that one if that.
No, he's in agreement with that. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Tommy, that's what he's doing. Okay.
okay.
So we're good.
So that one there looks good. Okay.
So then if the state regulations change, we've gotta amend the bylaws again. Because otherwise you need to put something in there that said, or up to state regulations. Otherwise, you're gonna have to change this, because that's the problem we're in now. We have a lot of things that are not to state regulations
Mm-hmm.
and in our bylaws. And they're actually not bylaws, they're CCRs.
Say what you need to. Say again what you.
I
What
think
would
we
you-
have
what
to
would
put
you
something
add?
in here, if you wanna put that, or up to state, compliant with state regulations. Because what if they change it from 12 inches, now it's gotta be 16 to 20? You've gotta then go back and amend this.
So what I'm asking is like what particular. I'll write it down. Like what
We
would
should
you?
put, if you want that paragraph in there, then you need another sentence that says, or compliant with current state regulations. That prevents you from having to consistently go back and change things.
Well, in the private subdivision, even though we're saying that this is compliant with the state, well, we did say materials are from materials.
Existing properties can be grandfathered in.
All culverts must be constructed from materials approved for such use by the state of Texas, Trinity County. Okay, but
I think it should say and or Trinity County, and let's just move on. Because the state regs and the county regs are not always gonna mesh.
right, yeah,
I think we say and or,
yeah.
Okay, we'll rework that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've got it written down. We'll rework it.
I was focusing on the culvert size, and I was thinking it doesn't matter if the 12 inches is sufficient for private driveways and the 18 inches is sufficient for the main road. So I don't see that changing, but I could see where materials would change. So just and/or, that's fine.
Okay. Paragraph B10, the original one is no hunting or use of firearms shall be allowed in the subdivision. The change will be to no hunting shall be allowed in CBAPOA subdivision. And what that is based on is Texas Property Code 202.020. The state legislature changed that rule preventing use of a firearm within a subdivision, POA subdivision. They struck that out. So specifically states now in Texas Property Code that you cannot forbid someone from using a firearm in a POA. So this is actually a change to bring us up to Texas Property Code standard. So that's not something that the board or we did. It's like we have to follow that.
I have no problem with that.
I have no issues.
Next one, and I'm not going to read for the sense of time. I'm not going to read the original. I will post them on the line, but the change is to all streets, avenues, alleys, and walkways shown on the recorded map or plat of Camp Ranch Acres, CBA, as filed with the County Clerk of Trinity County, Texas, are and shall remain privately maintained by the Property Owners Association, CBAPOA. These private roads and walkways are for the exclusive use and enjoyment of CBA property owners and their invited guests. Public access is not permitted unless authorized by the POA board or otherwise required by law. And that kind of codifies the use of the roads within CBA, and we acknowledge that CBA they're private roads and they're for exclusive use and enjoyment of CBA property owners. Okay. It may come up Pauly Ryan, okay, because we have Pauly Ryan folks come up there. State law says specifically that the folks that, like in this case, Pauly Ryan folks that are not part of CBA POA, state law specifically says they have the right of way to use these roads. Okay, so if they're Pauly Ryan and they live here, like Joe, or up the hill, they have the right to use that road. State law says that we can't deny them from that, and that's not what this is. This is stating that you have other folks that just come in and bring their boat to the boat ramp and they don't live in here or whatnot. It's like we can say as a board and community members, hey, you're private. You're not CBA. You're not Pauly Ryan. You don't have the right to come in here and use the private roads. And under state law and under POAs and HOAs, we're allowed to set those standards. Okay, we're allowed to decide who comes in and out of. But this clarifies what it says.
Any questions or discussions on that? Okay.
C3, it's talking, the original paragraph's talking about the developer within the 90 days, and this goes all the way back to 1967, 1970-ish, and this is the change. It's an update because we're now autonomous. We have our own board here. Camp Ranch Acres, CBA POA is a legally formed, unincorporated, nonprofit association under the laws of the state of Texas. What this is stating what we are. The annual meeting of the association shall be held on Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, observed every year. Board elections will be conducted during this annual meeting to maintain a 5-member board of directors. The board shall consist of 5 directors, all of whom must be lot owners within the Camp Ranch Acres subdivision. Directors shall serve staggered 2-year terms with 3 directors elected in 1 year and 2 directors elected the following year. Directors may be re-elected for the additional 2-year term. After serving a total of 4 consecutive years, a director must take a 1-year break before becoming eligible for re-election. From among 5 board members, the board shall elect a chairman who shall vote only in the event of a tie. The board shall also elect a secretary and a treasurer from among the 5 members. If deemed necessary by a majority of vote of the board, the roles of secretary and treasurer may be held by the same individual. These officers shall constitute the representative governing body of the subdivision. So basically, what that is it's the same thing. We got 5 members. We have the election. We get three up for a vote. Re-election 1 year, 2 the next year. What we're doing is we're actually putting that into the bylaws, and that the annual meeting on Memorial Day weekend, you must have that meeting, to be on that weekend, that Saturday, as traditionally has. So it can't be delayed. We must go ahead and have that election that weekend. Comments?
So a couple things. The first one, we can't form a new entity. You have to use the same name that was in the initial, and you can say doing business as, but you can't say that this is a new entity. You can't do that. We have to use the old name that's in the original CCRs, and you can put that we will now be referred to as, or we are doing business as. You can't create a new entity. Secondly, I think we are liable to follow not just the Texas Property Code, but because we're considered an unincorporated nonprofit, we have to follow the nonprofit code as well. So I think you need to look into that because it doesn't let 2 people have the same position. So you need to look into that. And then the other one is the Texas Property Code says they don't necessarily have to be lot owners. So I would ask to look into that as well.
Okay. As far as if you're an incorporated nonprofit, you're correct. The treasurer and secretary, for example, they have to be separate if you're incorporated. If you're unincorporated, it specifically says you can be the same person can have that.
I'll pull the law and I'll send it to you. That's not the case.
Okay, and I'll pull it and I'll send it to you. So we can compare those notes. What was the other one? What was that? So that was the.
You just need to say Camp Branch Acres Subdivision Property Owners Association doing business as CBAPOA.
POA. Okay, so the original name. Okay, I'll check on the original name.
Yes.
Put in the original name and then DBA.
Yes.
And the same about the lot owners having to be property owners.
And I'll check that as well. So you're saying the lot owners need to be, where is that in here?
3rd paragraph.
So what that says there is that if the board of director or if the members of the community, the wording on that says you do not have to, if the members choose, they have that choice that you don't have to be, you can be a member, okay, you can be on the board if you don't own property in a CBA or in an HOA or POA if it's in your bylaws stating that, okay, specifically. But if it's in there that you need to be own property in order to be on the board, then that is up to under unincorporated nonprofit code. But I'll pull that out and I'll put that in there. I'll have that pulled out.
Okay.
Vacancies. If a board member resigns with fewer than 6 months remaining in their term, the board may appoint a qualified replacement. If no suitable candidate is available, a special election will be held within 45 days of the resignation date to fill the vacancy. If no candidate comes forward to fill the position, a former board member may temporarily serve in that role until the next election, at which time the membership shall elect a replacement. Written notice of each meeting to elect a new board of directors of said subdivision shall be mailed to each lot owner at the last known address at least 10 days before the date of the meeting. So going back to the vacancies, the way it is currently is if you have an election and then a month later that person has to resign for whatever reason, the board can choose to fill that position or not fill that position, and that's kind of what's come up. And then we looked at it as it should be the members who get to vote to who the replacement is going to be. So that's kind of where we chose that 6-month mark. If there's less than 6 months left, then the board has to fill that position. You know, they can decide to fill that position. There's more than 6 months, say there's a year left, you have to hold an election, special election, in order to fill that position. It's kind of out of the board's hands at that point. It should be the members choosing who's going to represent the community if you have that length of time available.
So the only thing I would change is in that sentence where it says temporarily. I think it should read, a former board member may be appointed by the board to serve in that role until the next election.
Okay. Any other comments on that? Does that sound good?
I'm okay with that.
Now, I think this community is sick of voting. I think you're handcuffing the board. I don't agree with the 6-month stipulation in there. I think the board needs to be able to conduct business, and if there's a suitable replacement and the board can agree that that's what they need to do, then they should be allowed to move forward without having to send out ballots and get a community vote and go through all that nonsense.
I kind of look at it in the opposite way. We're here to serve the members, and the members are the ones that decide who should be representing them. So for example, if there's if there's an opening and it can radically change the voting dynamic on the board, okay, and then the board members decide on who that is, and it becomes kind of partisan on the board, and they're bickering, and they're like, okay, we're gonna put this person in there, okay, and then they have their own sort of voting block or whatever. That's the kind of thing I look at. So if it's more than 6 months, I want to put it back to the property owners, because the board is here to represent the property owners, and the property owners should have the final say. And then that way the folks can get out there and campaign and tell the property owners what's going on. And so I'm always on the side of the property owners. And that's not being critical, Charlie, but that's kind of my thought process of where I'm coming from. I want to be for the property owners.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not opposed to the property owners. I'm simply saying that you're handcuffing the board and its abilities by casting ballots and asking for a vote on a very simple situation of one vacancy.
Well,
Well, let the members decide on that.
yeah,
Yeah, the folks can decide.
yeah. Okay, next.
Okay, so I kind of got ahead of myself here. So the last part, written notice of each meeting to elect, the old one is a written notice of each meeting to elect a new board of directors of subdivision shall be mailed to each property owner at the last known address at least 10 days before the date of the meeting. That 10 days is actually longer than that. That needs to be changed and brought up to the state standard, which is 20 days. So the change will read, notice of each meeting at which members will elect the board of directors of Camp Ranch Acres property owners shall be provided to each property owner or their designated representative at the mailing address or email address on file. Such notice must be given at least 20 days prior to the date of the meeting. And this time, so that is in Texas Property Code. It has to be 20 days. Ours currently says 10, so we need to bring that change to bring it up to state standard.
Also want to make or to stress that it's to the mailing address or email address that is the last one that is provided by the member. So if they move and their stuff gets forwarded to a address outside of Trinity County, and they have said, no, I have moved, here is my address, we need to,
Yeah,
go
so,
with their,
Right.
you know, please mail my stuff to
Yeah.
this address.
to add on to that, to add on to that, clarify it a little bit. It's that email that you have on file and that address, that physical address you have on file, if you choose to have it mailed to you, that's where it's going to be mailed, okay? It has to be mailed there.
But it should be what they want you to mail it to,
Right.
not just what the tax.
One you have on file with the secretary and the treasurer and the board. The next one, any comment on that?
No, go.
At any election, this is the original. At any election, each owner of each lot shall be entitled to one vote. Combined lots are to be treated as one lot. Votes may be cast in person or the holders of properly executed written proxies. That's the original. The proposed change to be voted on is at any election, each property owner shall be entitled to cast one vote per paragraph C2A. Votes must be cast in person, by mail, electronically, via email, or by a properly executed proxy vote. Okay? Properly executed proxy, as recognized under State Property Code 209.00592, allows the property owner to sign over their voting rights to another person. So the proxy must be in writing, signed by the property owner. Without the owner's signature, the proxy is invalid. An individual serving as a proxy must not be a board member or director of the association to avoid conflicts of interest. So the reason we want that, or we suggested that go in there, is like that gives every property owner 4 options to vote. You can do it by mail, you can do it in person, you can do it by email, or if you choose to, you can have your neighbor sign a proxy and they can show up with a proxy vote. If you're not going to be there, you're going to be out of town or whatever the case may be. Again, the bylaw committee talked about that, and it's like that gives the 4 options to the property owner. No one ever has an issue with how they're going to vote. It's your choice. Everybody gets access. Any comments on that?
I just think that at any election, it should say each lot owner, because otherwise we're contradicting ourselves, because we're saying we're going to change it from property owner to lot owner previously, and now we're going back to saying property owner. So I think we need to be consistent throughout the document.
Good point. Lot owner. Okay. Specifically change.
I have
No.
a comment. Is there a spot in there that says that any vote in person overrides any other vote that they may have submitted? Like we had that road vote that a lot of us voted, but we showed up and overrode what our vote was because circumstances had changed.
Right. Yes, we can add that in there. Texas Property Code. I'm 99%.
Don't they have that allowance in there?
Yeah,
they do.
If you show up in person,
Even if you've given your proxy to someone, your vote overrides the proxy.
exactly. So that's in Texas Property Code already, but it wouldn't hurt to add that in there
Thank you for the clarification.
just to clarify that. Moving on to the next section here.
That's all I got.
Okay, there's a second email, there's a second set that I passed out. If we want to take the time to go through them today or pass them on, or we can sit on it till next meeting, that's up to the board. Because there's a lot to go through, there's a lot of stuff to go
Yeah,
through.
we need to defer this to the next meeting.
Okay, all right.
Please. Yes. Tim?
Can I make a suggestion? You would probably get a tremendous amount of feedback from your members if you just sent it out to them and said comment before we vote, before we finalize the vote for this.
Yes, I'm gonna post everything up on the website, and I can certainly email it out to folks. And yeah, I want to get that feedback from the community for sure. We definitely need that. And this is just the kind of the board part of it, and then that will all be put out to the members before any type of election. But yes, that'll be going out
How soon do you think you can do that?
within a week
Of the ones that we have already gone over?
Yes.
of these here. Yes, I can get this out.
These two that we sent, the one that we just went over, and then the second one that I gave y'all today, we can, yeah.
Yeah, I can get this out within a week.
Okay, that sounds wonderful to me.
Okay.
I would encourage everybody to look for it, to,
Actually, give me like 9 days, because I'm thinking with my work schedule, getting everything up there. So,
okay, say 2 weeks.
say 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
So I would encourage everybody to look for it and please make comments, because that's what we need. We need the comments, because I don't want anybody to feel like your opinion, your comments didn't get considered. And not only during this draft, but at the final time whenever we pass them out, okay, before the vote, okay? So we need everybody's participation. It's, again, we're here to serve the community.
Okay. I'll have them out at the end of 2 weeks, and I'll have an explanation and Texas property code and other things in there as well that you can, that'll make it easy for you guys to research to make sure that it's legal.
Joe has something.
Yes, sir, real quick comment. Whenever you're dealing with laws and bylaws, please consider it through the prism of enforcement, because enforcement from law always gets in the brother.
Yes.
You can say you're gonna do this, that, and the other. Oh, really? Well, how are you gonna enforce that? Please
Well-
look at it that way, or the confusion will continue.
Yeah, our adjoining property owners associations are experiencing those issues, okay? And it's, and no matter what we do, somebody's gonna find a loophole, but we need to try to focus on it to where, okay, if we put this in here, can we enforce it? Yeah,
And then what
Yeah.
are the consequences?
yeah, and that's true. And what are the consequences of doing so?
And just my nightmare scenario was having somebody driving around in a golf cart from like the HOA or the POA writing tickets. It's like that. Nobody wants that.
I'll resign from the board.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Not before I do.
It's like, no, I don't think anybody wants that.
Okay.
So we're gonna open up to
Yes,
anybody who wants to speak.
please.
Please feel free.
Jeez. Nobody. Okay.
We kind of got to speak along the way.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
Do we got a second?
Second.
We're adjourned. I've assumed that was unanimous. Okay.
11:05. Adjourned at 11:05 for